Hey Soul Family, I hope everyone's doing great today. My name's Kayla, and today we're going to talk about activating the divine key codes within your spirit. So, have you ever wondered, like, where are the keys? Who holds these keys that open the codes to my soul's purpose, my soul's mission? Well, if you're asking these questions, you're not alone, because I've been asking them for years. I've known that I've been awakened since I was 15, and I know that I've had a purpose. I've had a starseed mission. I've seen the visions of being a starseed from when I was 15 and 16. Yet I sat here year after year waiting, wondering when are the codes going to activate. So if you're thinking that, you're not alone. What I've learned through this process is that we all have a divine blueprint that is set up for us in the spirit world before we come here, before we come into this earth school. So the thing is that God, universe, spirit source, your soul has created this. So we have not arrived yet to the time when our keys are going to open the doors to our mission. Now, there are different missions that we all have and different purposes and different layers to these purposes. However, you still might be asking, when am I going to get to the one that I really feel the most called to do at my highest level? And what I've found is that we are really we're still in the learning process. So we have to go through so many initiations before the universe and ourself has set up the time when we are going to come into that place where we become whatever that is that you want to be. So while you're going through this process, I want you to really to stop and enjoy it, because these are the lessons that you have put in your path to learn, and you have put this in your path to even struggle with this question in the first place. But you have to go through a series of dark nights of the soul and reawakenings over and over and over again until you get to this place where the door finally opens. And that is going to be individual to your process and your process alone. And I can't tell you how many years that I sat here wondering when. And I still don't know when. But we keep doing the next thing that is right in front of us with our spiritual journey, and we will eventually get there. We don't get to make all the choices consciously while we're down here on earth. We have been wiped of our spiritual memory. We've been wiped of who we were in our past lives, in our ultimate oversoul of countless lives of being masters of these different realities. And yet here we are wondering why, what's next, where do we go, how do we do it? The thing is, though, is that we don't know, and that's part of the beauty of it. How fun would it be if we had no surprises? It would be boring. It would just be like being in the higher heavenly dimensions where we don't have to learn, we don't have to suffer, we get to choose, we get to create, we get to manifest. But because we're in this lower frequency, low density world right now, we get the opportunity to be confused, to be lost, to not know, and to really have to connect with the divine energy to get that guidance and support. And that alone is why we have come here to experience, because when we're up in the other dimensions, we don't get these lessons that we have here. So I want you to keep that in mind when you're struggling with this, when you're feeling resistance to it. I want you to really just remind yourself that that is one of the reasons why we came here, is to experience this contrast, and that it's okay to be where you're at. It's okay to be sitting at home and just living a normal life for now, and developing your spiritual practices for now, and going through those initiations for now. there are times where the fullness of what that mission that you feel super called to, sometimes it requires some of the darkest nights of the soul to go through to finally activate them, because the darker you go, the more farther you can be catapulted up. That doesn't feel so great in the meantime, and I know because I've experienced it myself. But when you get to the other side, when you do the work that is required, the purging of the emotions and the traumas in your current life, the working on the traumas of your family genetics, and then starting to tap into the traumatic history of your soul and really starting to clear these things out and become conscious of them and working through them, and whenever the emotions come up, then to actually feel them, that's where you're really going to learn this beautiful process so that you can step into leadership. And it really takes a lot of suffering. It takes a lot of difficulty. You know, the spiritual masters, they all had to suffer and go through such traumas before they were highly activated. So just remember this, that it takes deep suffering to really have these massive leadership roles. And so if you're going through that right now, be gentle with yourself. It is a sacred place that you're in. Even though it doesn't feel that way, it feels like you've been abandoned by God, by people, by even yourself. But through that darkness, you can understand life at such a deeper level. You can connect with people at such a deeper level. You can understand and have empathy with the processes of this life, and that's really what we're here for. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this message up, but I love you guys, and if you want to go deeper into shadow work or coaching with me, please reach out. My website is www.akasharise.com, and you can reach me through email as well at kaylajanelle724@gmail.com. I hope you guys have a blessed day, and I love you very much. See you next time.